Can reject Chelsea Rice rumour, a bizarre deal is going down in Spain, Wolves season finally ends, a transfer roundup, and this week's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, West Ham United have completely dismissed reports that they have received a £50 million bid from Chelsea. Now, I think this might be a little bit of mind games. Either they're dismissing that they've received the bid, or are they rejecting the bid? Maybe they're rejecting it and asking for a little bit more without actually asking for a little bit more. There seems to be a little bit of mind games going on, but personally, I don't think West Ham United are interested in selling at all. Not least selling to a major London rival. The thing is, Rice pretty much is the future of West Ham. Mark Noble still does what he does in central midfield, despite the fact he's definitely getting on a bit, and Rice is going to be there for the future and can play defence as well, and the fact he's an England international means he's a little bit more expensive. West Ham know they can get a hell of a lot of money for him, so they're probably not going to settle for 50 million. From Chelsea's point of view, he's a really good signing, but for me, he's just not worth that much. Like, as I mentioned before, centre midfield, centre back, definitely areas where Chelsea could use not necessarily improvements because they've got great players there, but certainly some squad depth as well, especially if they're planning to get rid of a few. I just think that when you're spending 50, 60 and above million on a squad player, something has gone a little bit wrong, because in the rest of Chelsea's transfer market, even though Havertz hasn't necessarily joined us yet, Ziyech, Werner, they've been absolutely brilliant. So it would be a little odd to see them spend so much money on a squad player. Having said that, they are still in the window for a goalkeeper as well, and it looks like most of their budget will have to go towards that. But talking of transfers, and this might shock you a little bit, we have a relatively cheap transfer. It's like something out of 2004. You won't believe what's happening at Valencia in La Liga. Captain and pretty much one of their best players this season with 8 goals and 3 assists, Dani Parejo, and midfielder Francis Coquelin are both moving to rivals Villarreal for a combined fee of 8 million. That's it. In fact, I think Parejo is 8 million, and they're just throwing in Coquelin because why not? Like, yeah, they're both, I think, 31 years old, but even so, how are you getting rid of your best player for cheap to some of your rivals? I mean, not necessarily like they've got the most heated rivalry, but they're in a similar region on the east coast of Spain, so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. Anyway, it's clear that Valencia needed an overhaul after a rather underwhelming season. They got rid of Ferran Torres. They got probably not so good money for him, but even with Parejo, they could have charged like 15 at least. They probably could have doubled the fee they're getting for him. Obviously, something is going on there that I don't quite know about, and I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more in the next few days once all the details of the deal come out. So next up, and away from the transfer news for just a little bit, into Wolves fans and their season, which has ended after 383 days. It started last July in a Europa League qualifier against Crusaders when they won 2-0, and it ends in the Europa League as well with a 1-0 defeat in the last 5 minutes to the hands of Sevilla with a Lucas Ocampos midfielder, who, by the way, is an unbelievable talent. It's no wonder a few big teams have been linked with him, although Sevilla are in the Champions League next season, so he'd probably stay. Anyway, what it means is that unfortunately Wolves will not be playing European competition next season because they finished 7th, and then Arsenal went ahead and ruined it by winning the FA Cup. Such a long season, and it looks like Nuno Espirito Santo is going to be busy in the summer window. He said after the game that he does need a bigger squad, especially if they're to play 59 games per season. That's pretty intense. Anyway, what it does mean is that Sevilla will now face Manchester United in the semi-final, and in the other semi, it's going to be Inter Milan against Shakhtar, who they just seem to be a team built for European competitions. Anyway, they absolutely smashed Basel 4-1, and yeah, that sets up some rather exciting semi-final ties. At this point, I'm really hoping for an Inter Milan against Manchester United final. I just think it'll be super interesting. They're two attacking, exciting teams at the moment, and obviously that little subplot of Sanchez, Lukaku and Ashley Young having played for United up until either January or last summer just makes it that little bit more interesting. Next up, and a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Arsenal are looking at Ajax's 28-year-old forward Quincy Promes, who's going to cost them around 25 million. Elsewhere, and talking of Arsenal, Real Madrid have recalled Dani Ceballos from his loan at Arsenal and will not be loaning him out to the North London club next season. Leicester City are interested in Burnley's Dwight McNeil, and lastly but not least, with all that money that Lille got from Victor Osimhen, selling him to Napoli for around £70 million, they've decided to spend just a little bit of it on replacing him with Ghent's Jonathan David. Finally, we come to this week's great debate. You guys know what it is, where the One Football newsroom pose a question for myself and all of you. You can see my answer and their answer in the relevant article in the One Football app. But For the comment section in this video, we want to know which legendary player will become a coach next. Now, of course, there have been some great player-turned-coaches, the likes of Pep Guardiola and Zinedine Zidane's done it more recently, and now we've got Andrea Pirlo in the last few days at Juventus. So, who's going to be next? For me, Miroslav Klose, a goal scorer supreme, the man with the most goals in World Cup finals ever, and now he's risen through the ranks as a coach, and he is currently Hansi Flick's assistant manager at Bayern Munich. So give it a few more years and I think we'll see Klose as a manager with a few phenomenal strikers playing and hitting the back of the net under his tutelage. So there you have it, that is all from me for today, but make sure you let me know your thoughts on the great debate and the rest of today's daily news in the comment section down below. Whilst you're there, it'd be a great help if you smash that thumbs up button. You can also click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.